Last of our 6 races is the Join Casumo today. Fillies handicap, it's over 9 furlongs. It's for 3-year-old and upwards fillies and mares. We're looking at horse number 6 rather, who is One Last Dance, who's got a red hood on in the preliminaries only.
Yeah, she's shown the odd little bit of temperament in her career so far. Didn't run well last time, went much too keen on soft ground. Fast ground time before was in a race that's worked out very well against some smart fillies at Windsor. But neither run suggests she's good enough to win a handicap yet. But William Buick's an interesting booking for the yard. 2 from 7 for Richard Hughes in recent years.
Got a bit of scope, actually.
Yeah, she doesn't look bad. She just needs to relax a bit in her races.
Hence the red hood, which she
Hence
wears,
the hood.
of course, in the preliminaries only. You know the score by now. Number 7 follows. That is Born to Please for Mark Usher,
who loves the ground. That'll be in her favour. She's mixed hurdling and flat racing recently. And she's quite good when she's on song, and the conditions will play to her strengths. Jason Watson is riding, and Mark Osher, the horse has won once from 3 outings here and been not beaten far in the other 2 as well. So she likes it here, likes the ground, lively outsider.
Okay, well let's talk about the horse that's just gone in front. And if I could identify... Oh, it was Gay Calloway's horse, isn't it? That's Atavik, the one with the blue rug in between the other 2.
Who ploughed through very heavy conditions to win at Newbury on her first start last year at a big price, and finished last on the all-weather on her only other outing. I thought Gay suggested this filly might have been going to France, but she didn't go to France, as it turned out. Maybe it was difficult to get there. I should think that may have been the problem, but... She's booked Adam Kirby for a last race of the night, which must be significant.
Okay, I can't tell which the other 2 are because they are so...
That's number 7 in the cheek pieces. We've already seen that one, haven't we?
No, yeah, we've done those 2. We've done the 2 ones, the numbers we can see. It's the other 2 that I don't know. So I'm going to ask you left there to the horse that's entering the paddock, which is horse number 5, and that's Urban Violet for Mick Shannon.
Another one who's won in heavy ground. It's amazing how all these heavy ground fillies have turned up on the same when the ground has gone soft. But she ploughed through it at Newmarket last year in really determined style. Didn't feature in a Kempton race next time out. And back on favoured ground, could go well. Sylvester just had a winner. Stable in good form.
Again, coming down the walkway to the left with a red hood on us again. Preliminaries only. That's Reverential for George Scott.
Just overtaken by William Buick, who's going the other way, going to take One Last Dance down early. Reverential ran in something enticing's race last time at Nottingham and ran respectably and would have a chance on that sort of form.
Okay, the horse behind is number 3 Gloweth,
who's a front runner for Ben Curtis and Stuart Kitto, and another of Stuart Kitto's families. He has trained the half-sister Nightingale Valley, and on her day when she gets out in front she's quite decent, Gloweth, but few and far between. She doesn't always get her own way.
3 horses back to number 8, and that is Say If You Will.
Trying a new trip, stepping up from 7 furlongs, having won her first race on the all-weather at Lingfield a couple of outings ago, and then run well next time. She went well in soft ground races at Newmarket last year, so I don't think the conditions will be a problem. The trip possibly will be.
By process of elimination, the horse behind is number 4. That's Dramatica.
There might be a problem with this filly staying as well. She's trying 9 furlongs for the first time with a tongue tie on.
And finally, horse number 1, and that is Top Anticipation.
Best run last year came over the course and distance, went 3rd and came back with a decent effort over a trip that looked too sharp. 8 furlongs at Lingfield last time.
So the horses, the fillies, the tail end of them still in the paddock, just exiting now. There is number 1, that's Top Anticipation. And what did you make of them as a bunch here, Eddie?
A bit like their form. They're a bit in and out, a bit up and down, a bit hard to pin down, many of these fillies. And quite a few of them, it's quite surprising this late in the year with the all-weather, quite a few of them making their first flat outing of the season.
OK, let's talk about Urban Violet, who was right up to her best when winning on her penultimate start last season. Probably can be forgiven for not staying on her final start. So that's the thoughts on Urban Violet. More on the rest of them in a moment. Interesting betting there, which has Urban Violet as the favourite, Eddie.
Yeah, stable in really good form, that of Mick Shannon. I don't know whether it's anything to do with young Mick Shannon coming back from Australia, who's coming back to the yard from Australia. He's had a stint out there, and I would suggest he's probably pretty hands-on with the organisation. But the stable are going really well in any case, for whatever reason. And this filly was really gutsy when she won at Newmarket. It seemed to take a long time to win, but the going was very testing, and wasn't really surprising that she recoiled from that on the all-weather next time out. She looked fit, and the market support is encouraging for those who fancy her.
And that's how you read it, as a recoil as rather than a not stay last time?
I think it was such a hard race she'd had, and I felt also that she was better suited by the soft ground than she was by the all-weather.
How about Say If You Will, who has been busy already this season and was running pretty well until last time?
I don't think it was such a bad run. As the third horse, Bonnie Riggs, trotted up at Brighton next time, so form's been upheld. I think that was a fair enough effort.
Okay.
There's a query about the trip. She's run well over a mile at Lingfield on the all-weather.
And then we've got Reverential, who's yet to win a race. She was unraced as a 2-year-old, and she's run well the last twice.
She has. She finished in the pack behind Something Enticing last time. There's a winner come out from behind her, but if that horse hadn't been hampered, she'd definitely have got past this filly. I'd be certain of that. But it was a good starting point for her turf career. She's not over keen going down in the blinker in the hood for preliminaries, but I thought she looked fine.
Top Anticipation, who is the top weight, has a bit of an Ox-O profile, doesn't she? She is in and out.
She is, but her best run came over this course and distance last year, and then the final run was a poor one, but she wasn't seen again, so maybe things weren't altogether right with her. I thought it was a reasonable comeback run. Third at Lingfield. I think there's a step back up in triple suit, and if I had to have a selection, it would be her.
Okay, and she's now second favourite behind Urban Violet. Gloweth, we need to mention, and you mentioned that she's a bit in and out too, this mare.
She is. I think she's much better when she can get her own way out in front.
That's not going to happen here, is it?
It's unlikely to happen here. She's also got the rails draw, and my theory about the rail being not the place to be means that she might get pushed onto the rail if she makes the running, so that could be a negative as well.
It's got quite chilly for this final race here at Sandown. How about I'll try that again. Atavik, yes, well done. She's making her seasonal debut and her handicap debut. What do you make of her mark?
A fair one, I think. She sprung a surprise in heavy ground first time out last year, and if I were the handicapper, I think I'd want a bit more evidence, because she had one win in heavy ground and then finished last in an all-weather race, and he's had to handicap her on that. She doesn't look badly handicapped, but the ground conditions might be a big plus. And Adam Kirby, I think it's interesting that he hangs around for a final race, because it probably means that the horse is likely to perform.
Now, John was mentioning just prior to our previous race that he felt the wind had got up, but it's gone up another stage again now. Yeah. It's really quite strong.
Yes, but in monitor terms, we have weights on the monitor now, and Lydia holding it down as well. And I better hold it down too, because otherwise we do not want to lose that. That's almost as valuable as these fillies.
Yeah, more valuable than either of us. Dramatica, you would take from her career profile that she's not the easiest to train.
Not the easiest to train. She's now got a tongue tie on. She may not get the trip. But then you go, why would Stuart Williams try her over this trip if he didn't think this was the answer? It might be a last resort, of course. But
He was looking very Formula One when we spoke to him earlier, wasn't he?
He normally wears that hat. You can spot him in the distance. He needs to change it, really, otherwise I'll stop pestering him then.
He'd added that sort of, wind cheater as well to it. That was making him look very sort of.
He said he'd got it
in
at
the pit
TK
lanes.
Maxx though, so it's. You reckon he's got a career in Formula One?
Well, it looked,
management later, further down the line.
It looked like a very in the
well,
pit
he's called
lanes.
Williams, isn't he?
Anyway, one last dance. How about Richard Hughes' runner?
Yeah, she looks quirky, and she behaved. They took her down to the start early, and they put a red hood on, and she didn't give her jockey any help with last time. If she does that again, she won't get home in this sort of ground.
And finally, Born to Please.
I like Born to Please, and she's not. It's not impossible that she might pop up in this, just because she likes the ground, she likes the course. She's run it 3 times, a third, a first, and a fifth.
She's quite. I mean, the price is quite rude, in my opinion.
And she's fit from hurdling, and you don't always know what you're going to get with her. But that's a bit. This race is a little bit like that.
I agree. As we've gone through the field, it's just I've come to the conclusion that I think she's way overpriced. But anyway, we're about to prove that wrong. So for the final time, let's join John Hunt.
Lydia, thanks very much. And now Gloweth together with Top Anticipation. 9 furlongs for the concluding race of the evening. All in. And they're off. Jumping away then and dropped right out in the early stages. Urban Violet, the back marker as they head through the first furlong. 9 furlongs here. One last dance up front early, but now under restraint, allowing Dramatica to go on. Gloweth is there, and the rest of the field tightly huddled up in behind, with Reverential now on the outside of Born to Please taking closer order. Urban Violet has made ground through the field, but just had to take back there. Space at a premium. They're so tightly grouped together. On the outside, Say If You Will is closed right up. Atavik is one of the back markers, and Top Anticipation arguably last of all. Having a bit of a rough ride through on the inside is Urban Violet there. She's inclined to be a little bit keen, and she keeps on running up in behind other horses as they now race towards the end of the back straight. And it's happened again for Urban Violet, who's had a really rough first half mile of the race. Up front, Dramatica leading from Gloweth. Then Reverential in third place. Born to Please makes the turn in fourth. One last dance is next, and then Say It If You Will. Say If You Will is joined on the inside by Urban Violet, and then 2 behind Urban Violet are Top Anticipation and Atavik just about last of all. But they're still tightly grouped in essence as they come up the home straight one final time tonight. 3 to run. Over on the far side, Gloweth with Dramatica. This side of the group is Reverential, who is right there. Urban Violet's trying to come again. Between runners now. Born to Please goes for a gap and gets it. Meanwhile, Say If You Will down the stand side starts to stay on. Top Anticipation from the back end of the field as well. Urban Violet's come through to hit the front. Pale Jacket, Urban Violet, who had that trouble run through the first half of the race. But she's staying on stoutly here. Looks like it could be another wide margin winner for Silvestre de Souza. Urban Violet, the further she goes, the better she gets. Top Anticipation's moved into second place. Born to Please plugs on next, but a runaway win for Urban Violet in the last. Wins by 8 lengths. Top Anticipation was second. Born to Please and Atavik, the next 2 home.
Another wide margin winner. This time it's Urban Violet for Sylvester de Souza and Mick Shannon. Despite hanging left in the closing stages, despite racing towards the inside rail, she has won quite comfortably. Top Anticipation has finished second on top weight for George Wood and Harry Eustace, and Born to Please has finished third for Jason Watson and Mark Usher. It was a rough race in the early stages. The field probably huddled together for warmth. And in the closing stages, there was one wide margin winner, and the rest of them huddled together at the end.
Yeah, the others look as though they've been fairly handicapped, and she looks like she's found a lot of improvement because she got buffeted around early on against the rail, and then she hung across the track, and she still streaked away to win by 6 or 7 lengths. Born to Please has run a pleasing race. She really tried hard and finished third. Top Anticipation short of room at several stages, but obviously the winner winning so far doesn't mean she was unlucky, but she'd have been a clear second had she not been held up in traffic. And the winner starts to drift across horses. Sylvester's a bit fortunate he's clear at the time, or fortunately he's on by far the best horse, I suppose, and starts to use his whip, but she'd already started drifting. She does straighten out. Or say, if you will, travelled up well on the outside but didn't stay. I think that's fair to say. Dramatica went off in front and also probably didn't stay. There was promising late headway from Atavik into fourth from the back of the field.
She wouldn't settle in the early stages
and
either.
she was keen early. So it was an ordinary fillies handicap. I think the horse with reasonable form finished second, but the winner has absolutely blown them away. She was one of the least exposed in the race, if not the least, the most exposed in the race, if not the most exposed. But here you see she had to be chivied along to keep with them early, as did the second Top Anticipation. And in a minute, when the camera angle changes, we'll see she gets quite slightly buffeted around against the rail.
She really does, actually, towards the inside rails. Sylvester Sousa's trying to hold that position there, and you'll see from this camera angle here that she gets tightened up and shuffled back.
Because Glowith's jockey wants to come back to the rail. He looks over. He's probably got a shout from Sylvester then, and there just wasn't any room for Ben to go outside, and he wanted to come back in, but Sylvester was probably screaming at him, and she got tightened up. It didn't actually make any difference to her in the end, but she did race against the rail. So and then gets bumped by Born to Please, I think. So dropped back to almost last. I think we'll have to mark her up again.
Very much so, and she's ended up being dominant.
Although the second horse has also come from a long way back, as has Atavik, who's in last place in the red, white and blue colours.
Yes, so maybe that has weirdly helped her.
They've probably gone too hard up front. Well, almost certainly gone too hard up front. Glowith and Dramatica lighting each other up. Orange Cap of one of Reverentials run respectively again. Say if